The relentless sun hung over Albuquerque, casting a veneer of molten gold on the city, almost as if nature itself was in complicity with the subterfuge that ran through the city's veins. Amidst the seething currents of mundane life, one figure remained resolute. Oliver Cantrell, an unassuming detective, his lean figure a testament to an ongoing battle with an unseen foe, an eating disorder that threatened to erode him from the inside out. But the real battle was yet to commence. Better to starve the body than the pursuit of justice, he'd often quipped to his colleagues in moments of uncharacteristic vulnerability. In a dimly lit office, Oliver, with his fair features etched with consternation, pored over a growing portfolio of dubious deaths and disappearances, all paths leading to an unremarkable morgue at the heart of the city. Detective Rodriguez, an older, weathered man and a fixture in Oliver's world, sauntered in, his eyes hidden behind thick-rimmed glasses. "More rumors, Oliver?" he asked, leaning against the doorway, his voice echoing the collective skepticism. "Not just rumors, Rodriguez," Oliver replied, his fingers tracing the red threads sprawling across his investigation board. His earnestness, punctuated by loyalty to the truth, was undeterred by the waves of cynicism that often lapped at his resolve. The city outside was a jigsaw puzzle, a tapestry woven with threads of the unknown, with the morgue at its dark heart. Each street murmured hushed tales. Each shadow hid secrets that seemed to tiptoe on the edge of reality. The secrets of Albuquerque were not just in its people, but also within its canyons, its flat-roofed buildings and its sun-bleached bones that seemed to whisper their own tales of cosmic mysteries. As he embarked on his routine surveillance that evening, the city revealed itself like a slow, blooming nocturnal flower under the watchful gaze of the pale moonlight. The morgue was a granite edifice, silent and stoic under the star-speckled sky. It was almost mocking in its normalcy, an unassuming facade belying the secrets within. The receptionist, a gaunt woman named Mary, had a story buried beneath layers of concealer and heavy glasses. He'd noticed the faint tremble in her voice, the nervous dart of her eyes, the ghost of a knowing smile. She was a cog in the machine, an unknowing participant in a larger, ominous game. "You look tired, Detective Cantrell," Mary said as he departed, her voice a sigh of melancholy carried by the arid wind. He turned back, a wisp of a smile touching his lips. It was not fatigue he wore, but a mantle of determination, woven with threads of anticipation. "The city sleeps, Mary, but justice cannot afford to," he said, his voice dissipating into the quiet hum of the night. As he walked the deserted cityscape, his loyal heart pondered over the fragments of information collected during the day. The rumors whispered in the corners, the anomalies traced back to the morgue, the elusive drug that colored the city's underbelly. A lingering question floated in the back of his mind. What sinister symphony was the city orchestrating under its breath? Bathed in the dim glow of street lamps, he stood outside the morgue. His gaze penetrated the facade, attempting to unravel the mystery it concealed. The whispers of the desert echoed in his ears, propelling him towards an abyss of the unknown. An abyss that he knew he had to dive into to expose the shadowy tendrils that strangled his city. The moon hung low in the desert sky, casting a spectral glow upon Albuquerque. Within this ethereal light, Detective Oliver Cantrell found himself at the edge of the labyrinth that stretched beneath the surface of the city, the subterranean morgue. The fabric of reality seemed to ripple at that nexus, where the known world met the seething underbelly of cosmic horrors. The morgue lay before him, a mausoleum of granite and glass, appearing even more formidable under the waxing moon. He traced his fingers over the cool surface of the door before pushing it open, stepping into the echo of the silent cries that had been silenced forever within those walls. Inside, the morgue was a disquieting symphony of steel and shadow, of cold tile underfoot, and the sterile smell of death sterilized. It whispered a narrative far more sinister than any tale spun by the city above. Each drawer held an untold secret. Each corridor echoed with the residue of unvoiced screams. In the heart of this clinical labyrinth, he discovered the broken remains of a life undone. A user of the illicit substance, his psyche unraveled by the cosmic horror that dwelt within his mind. The man, young yet with eyes too old, lay huddled in a corner, his fear-paled face illuminated by the flickering fluorescent lights. "What do you see?" Oliver asked, his voice steady despite the growing unease crawling up his spine. The man turned to him, his eyes wide and vacant. "It's not what I see, detective. It's what I hear." His voice was barely a whisper, trembling at the edges. Voices from the abyss, a god from the void, speaking through the veil. This revelation, a confirmation of the unspeakable horror hidden within the heart of the city, stirred the waters of Oliver's mind. He felt a chill crawl under his skin, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. A god from the void. The cosmic horror he had begun to suspect was far more terrifying than he had imagined. As he navigated through the conversation with the man, a vile image painted itself in his mind. A deity from the cosmic void, an entity beyond human comprehension, invading their reality through a mind-altering drug. The morgue was a temple, its devotees willingly or unknowingly walking into the open maw of madness. The revelation hung heavy in the sterile air. With his world turned upside down, he found himself on the precipice of an abyss. This was no longer just an investigation. It was a descent into the depths of horror. Walking back towards the city, under the mocking stare of the moon, he felt a cold dread clutching his heart. His city, his home, was a puppet dancing on the strings of an unimaginable cosmic horror. As he stood on the precipice, staring into the abyss, he knew that there was only one way forward. "Into the abyss," he whispered to the silence of the night, and beyond. He was on a path from which there was no turning back. The detective, once a seeker of justice in the realm of men, was now a warrior in the realm of cosmic gods. He was not just facing the dark underbelly of his city, but also staring at his own reflection in the dark mirror of the mind, questioning the boundaries of his sanity. The weight of the revelation left him weary yet resolute. He knew he had to confront not just the drug and its distributors, but also the cosmic deity lurking in the shadows of the human mind. As the chapter closes, the next step leads him further into the depths, leading into the grotesque heart of the morgue, the stage set for the symphony of screams. The Albuquerque dawn unfurled, a reluctant spectator to the macabre theater beneath its gilded feet. In the stark, austere light, Oliver Cantrell stood outside the morgue, its formidable silhouette casting long, hushed whispers on the sandy canvas of the city. As he stepped over the threshold, the chill of the morgue engulfed him, a spectral shroud woven from death and dread. Each stainless steel drawer, each echoing footfall, seemed to pulsate with an unheard symphony, a cacophony of silent screams waiting to be set free. Within the sterile labyrinth, he stumbled upon the perverse, ritualistic chamber, hidden from prying eyes. In the heart of the morgue, the followers gathered, each a puppet held captive by the strings of the mind-altering drug. Their faces drawn and pallid, held a vacant stare, their minds stretched thin across the abyss to touch the mind of the dark deity. A hush fell over the congregation as the high priest, a man with the air of an ancient predator, revealed the unholy sacrament, the substance. His voice, a deep rumble, echoed off the icy walls, spinning a tale of power and unimaginable realms, the deity's voice reverberating through their eager minds. As Oliver watched from the shadows, his heart pounded an erratic rhythm in his chest, his breath held captive by the unfolding horror. Each word the high priest spoke seemed to vibrate with an energy that strummed at the edges of his sanity, tugging him towards the precipice of the unknown. The high priest, holding the substance aloft, began the incantation, his voice weaving a tapestry of dread and fascination. The followers, enthralled, accepted the communion, their bodies convulsing as their minds were flung open to the cosmic entity from the abyss. The chamber was soon filled with a discordant symphony of screams, of agonized enlightenment and rapturous fear. With his senses flooded with the unspeakable horror, he could only watch as the boundaries of reality thinned, the cosmic deity reaching out from the void. The harrowing spectacle, The grotesque transformation of the mundane morgue into a temple of otherworldly horror left him teetering on the edge of his sanity. His pursuit of justice had led him into the dark heart of cosmic horror, a place where the shadows whispered of entities beyond comprehension, of realities best left unexplored. As the high priest's voice reached a fevered crescendo, the walls of the morgue seemed to pulsate, the deity's presence palpable in the heavy air. Oliver's world shrank to the chamber and its occupants, each scream, each convulsion, a testament to the terror that lurked in the shadows of the human mind. Each second felt stretched into eternity, the morgue a microcosm of cosmic horror, a single note in the symphony of screams. He became a witness to the unseen horrors that lurked beneath the surface of reality, caught in a battle between sanity and the abyss. A chilling resolve solidified within him. The weight of the horror he'd witnessed acted as a grotesque motivator. His once ordinary world had been replaced by a labyrinth of cosmic horror, and he was the Minotaur, caught in its heart. With the echo of the screams still ringing in his ears, he knew he had to act. His city, his home, was under siege by forces beyond his understanding, and he was the lone warrior standing against the tide. Thus, the path to the final confrontation was laid out, leading to the abyss and beyond. In the desolate pre-dawn, Albuquerque lay draped in an ethereal shroud of uncertainty. It was under this veiled sky that Oliver Cantrell found himself, his shadow a lone specter cast upon the silent city. The world he knew was now a theater to a grotesque ballet of cosmic horror, and he was its reluctant protagonist. Upon his return to the morgue, the edifice now stood as a monstrous monument to the unknown. The once mundane building had been transfigured into a nexus of cosmic influence. He was no longer entering a simple city morgue, but venturing into the dark heart of a cosmic entity. As he stepped into the temple, the sterile cold clung to him like a spectral shroud. The echoes of the symphony of screams reverberated off the walls, a haunting overture to the final act of his investigation. Each drawer, each sterile corner was now a grotesque altar to the deity from the void. In the heart of this chilling labyrinth, he confronted the high priest, his dark eyes reflecting the boundless abyss beyond. Their conversation was a macabre dance of words, each sentence spiraling deeper into the chilling reality. "You do not understand the gift, detective," the high priest taunted, his voice weaving the dreadful tale of their communion with the deity. "I understand enough," Oliver replied, his voice a bastion of sanity amidst the grotesque revelations. "This communion of yours is not a gift, but a curse, a violation of humanity." As the words echoed in the chamber, a primal confrontation unraveled, the man against the cosmic, reality against the abyss. This was the ultimate test of his resolve, a balancing act on the precipice of sanity. In this climactic moment, Oliver drew upon his inner strength, his loyalty to his city, his pursuit of justice. The horror he'd witnessed, the terror he'd felt, it all coalesced into a singular determination. He would stand against the cosmic horror for his city and his humanity. With a resolute heart, he disrupted the perverse ritual, his actions setting off a dissonant note in the symphony of the abyss. The cosmic deity recoiled, the high priest screaming as the communion was severed, the thread to the cosmic realm abruptly cut. In the ensuing chaos, Oliver managed to seize the illicit substance, its presence a silent testament to the unimaginable horror. As the authorities arrived, the morgue transformed from a temple of the cosmic to a crime scene, its secrets laid bare under the scrutinizing gaze of mundane law. The abyss had been confronted, the cosmic horror held at bay. Oliver Cantrell, the unassuming detective, had walked into the heart of the unknown and returned, forever marked yet victorious. As the dawn broke over Albuquerque, a new day began, bringing with it the promise of mundanity. The whispers in the desert quieted, the mind's dark reflections shattered, the symphony of screams silenced. The city, his city, stood a bit safer, the cosmic horror locked away for now. He was observing the city he saved. He was no longer just a detective, but a guardian against the unseen. His journey had led him into the abyss and beyond, into the heart of cosmic horror and back into the arms of his beloved home. He stared out at the breaking dawn, its golden light a balm to his weary soul. His city stretched out before him, still a puzzle, yet a bit less inscrutable. He knew that he had prevailed, that he had made his world a little better, and with that knowledge he embraced the dawn, ready for whatever the new day might bring. For he knew when the whispers in the desert rise again, he'd be ready. We appreciate you tuning in. If you fancied the content, show your support with a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to keep up with our eerie adventures. Eldritch Tales Factory has plenty more to offer. Until next time.